Welcome back, everybody, to the walkthrough for Red Rope Plus Don't Fall Behind. We're on episode 3, so we're heading into the House of Autumn. Before we get there, we're going to show how to take out the 2 other Minotaurs in this game. For the one you see here, you just want to bait him so that he hits the spikes. You do it the same way you baited the Minotaur into the hole. Just stand in front of the spikes and let him charge at you, and get out of the way for him to impale himself. We get to another Minotaur, though, who is perhaps probably the hardest because you have very little room to maneuver. With this one, you want to try to fight him in the middle of the arena, and again, you want 2 or 3 lengths of rope in order to beat him. As you can see right here, player 2 and I used a very advanced technique where I die, but she still uses the brief window of invincibility before the "you died" message to wrap around the bull and kill him. It's not very effective otherwise, but you can get a few cheap kills that way. Now that we're in the House of Autumn, you'll see our biggest enemy, which is trees. Throughout the course of this video and the next, you'll see how often we get stuck around them, so even though they look like harmless plants, watch out because they'll actually kill you. They're not going to really kill you, but you get the point. If you get stuck around them, you'll die. This room, you have 1 tombstone to the right. Just push the button in the middle, which is time released, so you have time to get to the other side before that middle platform raises. Destroy the tombstone, kill all the other ghosts. You can get the 2 skeletons, and then exit out to the right. Now that we're in this next room, we have all the same enemies. We have 1 banshee in the middle, otherwise known as a zombie, and 2 tombstones with ghosts hovering around. However, the biggest obstacle in this room is not the enemies, but the rivers. Unlike water and the other stages, these rivers flow in a certain direction. So, if you're going with the current, you'll go faster. If you go against the current, you'll move very, very slow. And so that can make taking out enemies pretty difficult. I have little indicators that'll flash up, as you see right here, for a brief period of time to show you where the currents are taking you, but I'm not going to keep them up the entire time like I did the circles for the House of Summer. For this stage, just watch out for the banshee in the middle. You want to be cautious, stay above her. When she attacks you, then spread apart and kill her. You want to be able to kill her as you go down because the current's going down with you. If you miss her, it's going to be more difficult because you'll be working against the current at that point. And focus on killing all the tombstones after you kill the zombie, and then leave to the bottom right. We have a few more currents in this stage. They're not as nasty as they will be in other stages, so just pay attention to them as you move around. We have 2 tombstones and a bunch of ghosts. These tombstones are protected by force fields, so you're going to have to move both statues onto the buttons in order to remove those force fields. Go ahead and kill the ghosts as you please during the stage, because it's pretty easy to dodge the ghosts when you try to go after those tombstones. You're used to fighting ghosts by now, so your biggest obstacles are going to be the currents. They're easy enough to navigate if you're paying attention to them. But if you get lazy and don't focus, you could find that the current either pulls you into an enemy or makes it difficult for you to run away from one. Once you kill everybody, for this video walkthrough, we'll be going to the bottom right. After quite some time, we finally have a new enemy. Your focus for the beginning of the stage will be to kill that bronze key kid. Once you kill that kid, go ahead and kill that skeleton on the raised platform as well. If you don't do it now, you're going to have to go all the way around to get him again. We fell, and that's our bad. Now, as we go about this room, there are a lot of rivers, which will make walking pretty difficult as we fight these shades. In order to kill these shades, you're going to need to pass your rope over them, much like you do the ghosts. When you do that, they become impermeable, allowing you to wrap your rope around them and kill them at that point. The best way to kill them is to move your rope across them and then immediately turn around to wrap around them. It's okay if they run away from you. In this state, when they're darker, they can't hurt you. You can touch them and nothing will happen. However, they do not stay in this state forever. After a few seconds, I don't know how many, they revert back to their permeable selves and can kill you once more. Take your time as you kill these shades because you have enough space and time to take them one by one. As with the previous rooms, the rivers are your biggest enemy. Well, they'll be your biggest enemy. For player 2 and I, it's still the trees. Both for the shades and for the trees, it can be a good idea to make your rope shorter. Having it about 3 lengths is a good size so that you have room to maneuver, but that you're not going to get caught around trees, and that the shades can't escape your very loose rope. Once you kill all of them, go ahead and get the second skeleton on the middle left, and then pass through the left door. This room will probably pose the biggest challenge just because it can be difficult to get out of these rivers once you get stuck in them. The best way to go about this stage is to bait all the creatures onto dry land. Of course, the reason for this is that it is easier to maneuver on land than it is in the rivers. You'll see player 2 and I kill a few enemies in this room on the rivers, but again, you have to go with the flow to make it the easiest way possible. As always, be patient and try not to go against the flow. You can see the bronze kid up there. That's going to be the final kid we get in this stage, so don't worry about it. We'll come back to him later. This stage appears to have a lot going on, but it's not that difficult. As you saw player 2 and I, go ahead and go up to the upper right tombstone and destroy it. If you'd like, you can use the raised platform to go all the way to the other side and get that tombstone. When you hit the buttons on this stage, it'll permanently move the bridge either up or down. And this can be helpful to create new escape routes as you go about this stage, or to connect that middle area. There is a hidden skeleton in the middle of this room on that raised platform. So if you want to get that first, that could be a good idea. We'll get it later in this run through. You do have 2 banshees on each side of the raised platform, but typically go after the tombstones first so that way you can get rid of all the ghosts. Once you do that, exit at the top of the stage. Okay, I was wrong. This stage is actually the biggest headache of them all. Largely because you have to race to make sure you get on the raised platform. So you can see player 2 and I immediately went into that center stage to hit the button. When you hit that button, it's time released, so 2 of the platforms will raise and 2 of them will go down. You're going to have to go in a clockwise fashion to the right side of the map in order to destroy that tombstone. If you're fast enough when you enter the stage, if you immediately go for that tombstone, you won't really have to dodge any ghosts. If you do end up dying, you may have to maneuver around them, and you really don't want to kill them, otherwise they will spawn quickly at that tombstone. Once you've destroyed that tombstone, go ahead and clear out the room of the zombies and ghosts. Just watch out for those trees, they can be a pain in the butt with how they're placed. Now to get the bronze key kid, you're going to have to do the same thing we did for the right tombstone, just going in the other direction. Based on where the bronze key kid is, he may run off the platform and you have to chase him around the arena like we did, or he'll stay on that upper portion and one of you can stay on the bottom and one of you can stay up top. That way it's easier to wrap around him. There is also a skeleton up there, so be sure to grab that before you fall down completely. Once you're done with all that nonsense, go ahead and leave the room to your right. Now we're at our final room. There are a lot of buttons and switches, but there's a pretty easy way to maneuver them. Each of the buttons in these rooms operates as a toggle, so once you hit them, the platforms stay where they are. Those yellow buttons will raise the middle platforms, whereas the red buttons will either target the 2 upper platforms or the 2 bottom platforms based on which button you hit. The ideal way to do this stage, unlike the way that player 2 and I did it, is you hit that yellow button upon entering the room and clear out that tombstone directly in front of you along with the ghosts. Then you'll drop down and kill the 2 zombies. Once you have them, you're going to go to the upper right button and have one person get on that platform and be raised up. Once that person's up there, you hit the red button again. The person up top will hit the yellow button so that the platform will go down and the other person on the ground can get on top of that. Hit the yellow button again, both of you are raised, clear out that final tombstone. Then you're going to go down using that right bottom platform and exit the stage to the south. Once you're in this room, go ahead and kill the bronze key kid. It is recommended that the 2 of you do not both drop down. Otherwise, you gotta go all the way around again, player 2. Okay, now that you've killed that bronze key kid, we're gonna go all the way back to the exit. You'll see player 2 and I fumble around to kill the skeleton in the middle. We are both tired at this point. Kill that guy, go up, then go up again, and you'll be dropped off at the balcony with the 2 skeletons. Hooray, you beat the House of Autumn. Good job. Now we're going to move on to the House of Winter. That's for the next video, so congratulate yourself again. Go save if you want to, and, well, bye.